What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today I will be reviewing. I always gotta look. What am I doing? Today I'm doing Put a Ring on It. This is season 4, episode 5, Two Prince Charming. And before I get started, for those who are new to my channel, I do detailed reviews of reality shows. I don't hit every single scene. I try to hit the most important parts that may stick out and maybe pick up some details that you may have not seen. And as I said, I am YouTube's number one commenter. So it's all about the comments. This is why I do the channel. I need that energy from you. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm here. I'm here to do what I got to do to try to catch up on these reviews and get back to the swing of things and the algorithm and all that good stuff because I've been gone long enough. So let's just hop into this review. And this is a to be continued type of situation. You know, it picks up with Dr. Stacy, aka Dr. Red Bottoms. You know, she always got to show her red bottoms. And I ain't mad at her. You know, I expect that kind of situation from people who just have like one shot at reality TV. Why? Because it's like the only time that you're gonna get to be on TV. It's my motto too. If I ever get on reality TV, I'm gonna bring in my best. I'm gonna max the credit card out. I'm gonna have on the finest gear and accessories and everything else I can bring with it because this is my shot. I got to shine. So that's how I am. But you know, we listen to Dr. Stacy, and her degree from Spelman has brought her to the conclusion that this ain't what we gonna do. That's the kind of conclusion she comes to in her professional medical field. You know, in a second, I'm waiting for Dr. Stacy to say, hold up, wait a minute, let me put some pimping in it or something, you know, something crazy. You like, it just doesn't sound like a doctor. I do like a realness, but you know, I'm a little biased. Y'all know why. I'm not going to mention it. I'm doing my best. But let's keep going if we can. And of course, because I've been behind, I missed some reviews. I'm going to have to pull some things that I didn't get to say for previous shows and reviews. So work with me. And, you know, the issue is that Jasmine is feeling like there's a lack of boundaries with her in her relationship with Zay, aka low key. And that is so ridiculous that a grown man who you're looking to go into a marriage and have a family and all that kind of stuff has an alter ego that is induced by large amounts of alcohol. That doesn't sound like the biblical husband like most women should look for, but everybody loves different, so I can't say that. And while we talking about all the stuff, certain things I never got to mention, you can't tell me that Jasmine is in her mid 30s. No. Look at the neck. Beautiful lady. Look at the neck. You can tell there's no way. 30, mid 30s plus 10, 12. Anyway, it's a real thing that Jasmine is feeling like she's competing with Zay's friends because it was a situation that came up where one of his friends threatened to slap her. And I mean, like, that's serious red flag, flaming flag. I mean, like, you gotta love yourself enough in them situations to say, like, hey, in real life, you know, what people talk about what a man is supposed to do. That's one of the things a man's supposed to do is protect. And absolutely having one of your friends, family members, I don't give a damn if it was his father, talking about you gonna slap his woman in front of you, in front of everybody. I'll wring his neck, but we still hanging out, and he still come to the house, and and low key's friend has apologized to him, but not to Jasmine. She feels awkward. She doesn't feel sure about it. What I didn't like with Dr. Stacy, she kind of put the responsibility on Jasmine. It's like, oh, maybe you needed to speak up, like suggesting that, which I thought was like ridiculous. Granted, sure, she should communicate how she feels, but that was totally on Zay to protect Jasmine, put the boundaries in place, and make her feel comfortable, because that is something that she should never have to experience. It was just quite ridiculous that she had to deal with that. And in that moment, Zay said he took responsibility for it, but Jasmine is not convinced. But this is like a reflection of like how they met. Like they met in the DMs. Their first date was a trip to Cancun. She went to Mexico with a stranger, and they instantly that day became in a relationship from here on out. And it's so much so, he turned into Loki that night because he took 32 shots and asked the woman for her Instagram. And like in real life, does that really make sense? You invite someone out on a trip for the first time you're meeting them, and y'all go together. Right after that, immediately is y'all in an exclusive relationship. It just don't make sense. It's very immature, super immature. And let's just go to the next one. I got more to say about them, but let's go. Let's go to Kat. Kat is preparing to go on her. She has a new date. She didn't decide to go on with another date from her last date, which I thought was a good match. Not that we're trying to match them up, but it's like they're supposed to experience other people who may open their eyes to a relationship, or hey, they might want to leave them, but I don't think that's the best idea because they got to break it off and break clean. But a perception. Kat dresses like she lives with her boyfriend who lives with his parents, and they share a car, and it's just very lacking. She called herself trying to do it up and all of that. But there's something missing. It's something missing. Deeper and deeper you go, because it's like the more I learn and the more I hear about, it's just like I don't even know how Kat is with Ricky. I just don't get it. I don't see what the benefit. She moved from Dallas to move into his parents' house. I'm assuming that they're sharing her car or whatever. Like, it's no win. Like, it is a real saying. Not that, again, I personally believe people, you can want what you want, but I don't believe people should chase money because it ain't going to end well in the end. However, you could do bad by yourself. She could do what she got going on with Ricky all by herself. I'm sure of it. It's just a lot of questions there to me for both of them. I can't let Kat off the hook on this one. But her date is Marcus, and he's pretty much twice the size of Ricky. And you know, Ricky's pretty much saying like he's not really jealous because he's I guess had a relationship with Kat while she was dating others, so he really doesn't care, and he feels like she will always come back to her. And I believe that. I truly believe Kat is committed to Ricky. Anytime she could move into that house under those circumstances, and this man telling me he paying all the bills, she's committed to him, and I totally believe. I don't know what type of hold that he has on her, but something is missing where she feel like this is it. She don't even have any children. Like, I just don't get it. It's just something. And then anybody notice like how often Ricky mentions kids, like, oh, she watches the kids, or I gotta go watch the kids, because it sounds like his ex-wife has more than one kid. He's watching everybody, but now we learn I ain't gonna get to that cat situation about that. We're gonna get into that later. But speaking of somebody who ain't too worried, Jasha is not too worried because he sees Joy getting ready for a date, and to me, he could care less because I mean, my opinion, Jasha is just there to drag Joya along the way. Like the more I learned, I missed some reviews, but the more I learned about Jasha, he just comes off really ridiculous. At this point, he's 40, he's been married, he has a child, and he is dragging his feet like, I don't know, let's slow down. You moving too fast. I don't want to talk about this marriage thing. Like this lady is 37 years old. Her childbearing years are running out drastically. If she's not ticking right then and now, it's like quite ridiculous, and it happens all the time. People who don't see themselves wanting more or better for themselves, they will allow somebody to control the narrative, drag them through a situation, and say, you know what, I wasted my time. I didn't get what I want. When the man has been telling you the whole time that he's not going to give you what you want, that you don't want the same things. And going back to another episode, Jasha kind of threw me talking, like he's worried. Like, granted, he may have had some financial issues in the past, but he's like, I gotta wait and make sure my financial stuff is right. I'm like, dude, y'all been together for 2 years. I counted that y'all been on 6 international trips in 2 years. You got the finances to have a family. You don't want a family. Instead of spending that money on trips, get it ready for the marriage and the baby. I'm not buying that. You don't want it. That's not what you want. But, drag on. Because you gotta let people do them. Because, like I said, Joy ain't off the hook. Like, she knows the answers, but she just wanna force it with Jasha. He don't want it. And Joy a date, he arrives and he's Jacoby. And he's like running his resume down. I don't like to brag or whatever. He hopping out the Maybach or whatever Benz, and he told me, I got a seven figure company, and he's 6'4" and he's dark skinned. He's not dark skinned, but okay, that's a whole nother issue. Whatever. But we're gonna call him dark skinned because that's what he want to be. But the something I wanted to bring up about Jasha, because like I said, I gotta agree. Like, Jasha doesn't. I think he got a form of Tourette syndrome or something. Because like when Joya's date came in the door at their house, Jasha looked him up and down, was like, wow. Like, that was his real response. Like, I don't know if he's, I'm not saying like Jasha has Shaq off of Married at First Sight syndrome. I'm saying the fact is, like, he says what's on his mind, but it's almost like it's a Freudian slip or something. It just comes out his mouth. Like, that's not how you greet a man. Like, look him up and down. Wow. Like, you're a tall dude. You're very handsome and all that kind of stuff. Like, another example was the same way when, like, Jasmine and Zay initially came into the group setting or whatever. And he, like, Jason said the same thing. He's like, wow, beautiful. Like, granted, Jasmine is a beautiful middle-aged lady. I got that. But somebody might feel a way in that room. You first seeing somebody greeting someone, you're like, yeah, beautiful. Like, like, maybe, okay, keep that on the inside. Everything that you feel shouldn't always come out. It's like, again, Tourette syndrome. It's something going on with that. I just had to point that out because that kind of got to me. How can I continue? So, where I'm at, I lost myself in the notes. So, as far as Joya's date, her date Jacoby was kind of like throwing out like little slick shots at him. He like, well, if I might bring her home or whatever, or this is your ex. He's saying all the slick stuff, and I agree with Jasha. Like, he didn't come off to you like that. You ain't got to kind of play them games. I don't know what production says, like, kind of push his buttons or whatever, And Jasha got serious in confession, like, yeah, we was on the streets, you wouldn't be doing all that or whatever. Yeah, it was too much. The guy was like, at this point, turned into a cornball. So, Joya's date, like, once they got out, it was going well. It was kind of funny. The guy still, he even tried to grab Joya's hand. She's like, she ain't used to that. She used to just, dealing with Jason, and I get that. But he was doing the right things. He was complimenting. He was being direct. He was funny within the dates. But the red flags came out really quick. Jacoby started talking about, like, it was at a point I had a fetish of, like, I needed to date women who already had a boyfriend. And he looks like that kind of guy. Like, excuse me. It's a competition for him. Like, he turned into Mr. Steal Your Girl. I got the Maybach Benz. I got the iced out Rolly. I got a 7-figure job. You want to come over here with me? But really having no intentions, just to see if I could get your girl for sport. Excuse me. Let me take a drink. Ooh, I'm suffering. This must be hot. Yeah. Yeah. It's a game to him, and he's too old to be playing them games. But he claims he's in therapy. Okay, but the fact that Joya kind of engaged with him about, excuse me, I'm choking with that sex talk. Was it because Jacoby just came off the top like, oh yeah, I'm top game in the bedroom and all this and all that, which should have been a turn off with somebody that Joy just met. But she like, oh, she flipped. He's like, well, I was talking about intimacy, but I can make love to a guy just by looking at him, but not even touching him. He's like, oh, you got to help me with that, which shows more of his immaturity. Jacoby believes that intimacy only lies in sex. So at this point, his grown age, 7 figures, 6'4", Maybach Benz outside, you got to teach him how to be intimate. You know why? Because he's just been playing with women up until now. But it's a thing. Now, Joya would have hated if Jason would have made that sex comment about making love to somebody with her eyes and all that stuff. Excuse me, I'm suffering. I might have to cut the video. It's a double standard. So, that says something. That does say something about Joya and where she's at or whatever. Not to judge her too hard, but I know they're supposed to be an experience. But she's the one always talking about, boundaries in a date. And I feel like that's something she's not going to feel Jason in a date because she always wants to know what's going on. So let's go to Zay. Zay is getting ready for his date, and Jasmine is immediately. Oh, excuse me. Jasmine is immediately laying out the boundaries, and at this point, Jasmine doesn't want Zay's alter ego Loki to come out, whatever, because she's limited his drinks. There's no hugging, no kissing, no touching, and she's in her jealous mode. And Zay's date comes through. Her name is Gala. She's like to me, in my opinion, she's like a Monet. I got that from my movie Clueless long time ago. It's like she looks good from far away. When you get up close, it's kind of like a mess. Like her hair wasn't up to par. She had on some little motorcycle jacket with the split on the thigh. Attractive woman, but she just didn't look quite put together or whatever. And Zay, you can tell Zay feeling her, but in like his confessional, he's saying like, I got my woman right there. What can I really say or whatever? I can't get all up into it, but he tell Gayla like, hey, you want to ride the bike or you want to take the Benz? And I never like that country accent is killing me. He does seem like much younger than Jasmine. They don't seem like a likely pair, but Jasmine was pissed. She was like, did this lady look like she can ride a bike? She got a skirt on and sitting in a confession saying like he's being ridiculous. She gonna sit in between his legs or whatever. It's just he just being dumb or whatever. So they going off their date. Let's get back to Kat. Kat is on a vision board date with Marcus. And I think they're hitting it off, famously. The matchmakers on this show need to be hired at Married at First Sight because they find some of the best matching dates on it, especially in Kat's situation. I thought Kat should elope with her last date when they played the PS5 and all that kind of stuff together. But this guy, he got it like all what Kat is looking for. He's successful. He doesn't have any children. He just got some dogs. He is like complimenting Kat crazy. Like it's coming off very natural. She's into it. I'm like, Kat, you better leave with this man immediately. Do not block your blessings. Like, what does Ricky have to offer? There's nothing there or whatever. And we learn more about Kat that she's actually from the same place as Marcus. They're both from Dallas. And Kat says she was actually a salon owner, which I was shocked. I don't know. She doesn't come off like a business owner. Like she's hanging out with this loser Ricky. And it's just like, why? Why? And also, she wears the same wig with the little glued down baby hairs, and one of them on the right was lifting up. I noticed that. Somebody in that profession shouldn't come out like that, That's the thing. But Marcus it's like her hair is exquisite. That wig thing is wiggy. He with it. So, like, she better, like, really get with him. He's being a gentleman, pouring the champagne, and um, I'm like, girl, you better leave Ricky and leave him fast. I don't know what to say. Ain't nothing else to say. And let's just get off that because Kat ain't gonna leave Ricky. Something she got a hold on him. So let's go to Zay's date. And Zay's date, Gala, she act like she just got off her night shift on this day. She looking all sleepy, head on hand in her head, and just like really Zay's doing like most of the talking. And we learned Gala's a single mother of two. She was, I think, formerly in the armed forces or whatever. And pretty much she's really haven't been on a date lately. She's like telling Zay that she's a Netflix and chill girl or whatever. And I'm like, I can see that. It don't seem like it's much there with her. And Zay is pretty much telling Gala that the issues in his relationship is that he becomes low key the night guard. I'm like, did he really just call himself that? He's the night guard now. And she's want to know, like, is he too friendly? Is he cheating? But he pretty much said, without saying that, like, I be cheating when I get drunk or whatever. You could tell that Zay has a very strong relationship with alcohol. You can see that even when um, Jasmine first date, he made him take a shot. And you look at that little burnt pink lip on people's lip on people's lip. That means they drink a lot. That's a sign. I've been around enough alcoholics to know that little burnt pink part. And it's just Zay really knows that he's the problem in the relationship. He doesn't want to lose Jasmine, but he's certainly not going to change his lifestyle. So it's pretty much trying to wrap it up. It's group session, and everybody's coming to discuss their dates. And Jasmine talks about her date or whatever, and she enjoyed herself, and she just felt like the guy was too perfect because it's like Jasmine didn't go on a date on this episode. She went on last episode because this is a continuation. Like the guy was just too slick with his words, like he was a pimp. And not only that, he's almost like a male escort. He goes to ladies' house and cooks their dinner shirtless and all that kind of stuff. And he's into the club promotion nightlife. She's already dealing with them kind of issues. So this guy's like a no. There will absolutely not be a second date. And with Zay, he's pretty much saying that with his date, he kind of learned to listen, and that's something Jasmine has always wanted from him. And Dr. Stacy wanted to know, like, how, like, wow, why did you listen to her instead of listening to Jasmine? He's like, it's pretty much like his new fresh meat or whatever. So he kind of act different. So he did get something out of it, actually, but he's not gonna go on a date with her. And Joya and Jason, they definitely enjoyed their dates. I really thought that Jason had a good connection with his flirty date. She didn't look like she was 32, still a beautiful young lady at the candle store, but no, I think people got to lie about their ages. Um, to me, Joya and Jason kind of make excuses not to go on dates like they really like their people, but they end up both saying yes. So it really makes sense. They just got to try to find a way like, oh, we're not really connecting or locking into somebody else. But especially with Joy, she's like, I want to find out more, explore more about him and all that. Okay, just say you like the guy and you want to see him again. That's fine. So Ricky and Kat, they discussed their dates, and Ricky and Sheila is actually a good fit. I mean, you could feel the vibe. They like each other. Sheila doesn't seem like she would want more. I believe she would still live at her place, but be fine with Ricky living with his mom, his uncle, his sister, his nieces, his nephews. That would be fine. She's like down to earth, very personable, funny, want to have a good time, lighthearted like Ricky. I think hey, I want Ricky to leave Cat for Sheila. It's just better off. Let's just stop wasting time. And it is an issue where, like Ricky, he admitted that he ate off of Sheila's fork or whatever, and just felt like it was Well, it was just as intimate as a hug. No, it's not. It is something you might as well have kissed the lady in the teeth if you're going to eat off her fork, tongue her down, all that kind of stuff. If you're going to eat off her fork, this is a stranger. He's supposed to be warming up. But hey, he said, I did it. He told Kat he was honest. So that's what it was. But Kat kind of questions Ricky's commitment. I'm gonna say that because at the same time he said no to a second date to Sheila, but Dr. Stacy kind of put the pressure on Ricky. Are you sure you don't want to go on a date with Sheila? It was gonna be fun. We're gonna pay for the meal. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go. The cat, like, this man ain't got no backbone. He'll let if a woman put pressure on him, he gonna go. So I get that where Kat is coming from. Of course, Kat enjoyed her date. She probably had the best date out of everybody or whatever. But things really started to go left in the group session because Ricky came out and said something so ridiculous that Kat doesn't give him an opportunity to miss her. Like, Kat has been classified as a level 5 clinger. She's so clingy, she can't go nowhere and all that. But again, that's when we learned that hey, they're sharing a car. I could put my money on it. I bet you it's Kat's car. And Kat is pretty much a living nanny. She watches this man's nieces and nephews while not concentrating on her business and his son, taking him to practice or whatever the case may be. And Ricky's like, oh, I take him. And then she like almost flew off the handle and went off. She was at her boiling point. I get it. Because now Ricky is portraying or painting a picture that Kat is just hanging around and he doesn't get to be by himself when they're sharing a car, living with his parents and nieces and nephews and uncles and sisters and all that kind of stuff. And it's quite ridiculous. Like, at this point, it's not on Ricky anymore. It's on Kat. Kat, why are you with this man? She was infuriated. Like, you gonna sit here and lie? I ain't with you just lying. You know what I do. And he don't appreciate him. And he looked confused, like, what? I mean, you sound frustrated. You right. You have given her a life that she absolutely doesn't want. But guess what? At this point, it's on Kat. So this is another to be continued. It goes off. Kat is hot. And what's she gonna do? So again, drop down in the comments. Tell me what you thought. I definitely want to hear about Ricky and Kat and Joya and Jason. They got some weird names. And even the new couple, Jasmine and Zay. So, as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it and I really mean it.